So chapter 4 is going to talk about how we graph things in two variables. So chapter 4 is describing things in terms of two variables. So the title of chapter 4 is Linear Functions / Inequalities in two variables. So what we're going to talk about in this chapter is how you graph things in terms of two variables. And the very first thing that we're going to talk about is this idea of changing from a concept of one variable to two variables. And the most basic step that we can make is talking about from jumping to two variables is talking about this idea of the rectangular coordinate system or the XY coordinate system. And the first objective that we're going to talk about is actually how you graph things in a rectangular coordinate system. And what we're going to talk about, and you can see a graph right here, is what the XY coordinate system looks like. And the XY coordinate system is broken into two axes split in, and it's broken up in terms of an X and a Y axis. And the way we describe this is that this is going to be the horizontal axis, and this one is your vertical one. So this is your vertical axis. And it's broken up into four different quadrants. This is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and I used Roman numerals here, and this is quadrant 4. Okay? The only other thing that you need to know is where these two axes meet is this point right here. That's called the origin. So here's a couple important things that you need to know from this to talk about the XY coordinate system. And the first objective is talking about how you graph ordered pairs. And when you graph an ordered pair, this first example is talking about how you graph this ordered pair. And you're given an X and a Y coordinate. So you're talking about an X and a Y coordinate. And when you're given this, you're talking about two distances. You're talking about a distance that you move left or right, and a distance that you're moving up or down. So when you graph something like this point, -2, -3, this distance is going to be left 2 units and down. So I'm going to go left because -2 would be considering going to the left, and 3 units to the in the down direction. So I'm going to go left 2 and down 3, and there's my point, -2, -3. So there's my first ordered pair. Now, if I'm going to graph the other ones, and then this would be down. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to graph them. I'm going to go 3, -2. I'm going to go 3 units. Instead of a negative direction, I'm going to go a positive direction. That's going to be right. This is also going to be down. So I'm going to go right 3 units and down 2. There is my point, 3, -2. We do the same thing for this one here. If I'm going to graph this other one, 0 means I'm not going left or right at all. This means, again, we're going down. So I'm going to go just down 2 units, and there is my point, 0, -2. And my final point is just 3, 0. This means I'm just going to the right. So I'm going to go right 3, and there's my point right there, 3, 0. So it's just graphing ordered pairs just means which direction that you're going to go. Okay? Now, objective B talks about how you determine ordered pair solutions in an equation. So if you're going to ask if something is a solution, so is something actually a solution? what you need to ask yourself is this, that when you plug it in, if you plug in the numbers, is it true? So you might be asking, what does that mean? So you see this equation here. It says, is this ordered pair, and we have an ordered pair x comma y here, a solution to this equation? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to plug this in for x and y and see what happens. So wherever I see y, I'm going to replace that with a 7. Wherever I see x, I'm going to replace that with a negative 3. And we're going to see what happens. So instead of y, it's going to be 7 equals negative 2 times negative 3 plus 1. So I plugged in those two numbers. I get 7 equals negative 2 times negative 3. I get a positive 6 plus 1. 7 equals 7. That is a true statement. That is true. So because this is true, this is a solution. If it wasn't true, then it wouldn't be a solution. So because it's true, this is a solution. Now, if you're looking at something that says to find the ordered pair solution, which you can see at the bottom of the page here, it says find the ordered pair solution of this that corresponds to x equals 6. What it's telling us is that we know that x equals 6, but we want to find something for y. And it's telling us how to do this. This is how you do it. Okay? So, to find y, what we need to do is we replace x with this value here. So I'm going to put 2/3 times 6 minus 3. Well, 2/3 times 6 is the same thing as 12 over 3. And what I'm left with is 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1. So this is what y is equal to. And the whole point of this is to find out what y is equal to. So y is equal to 1. So the ordered pair solution is this ordered pair right here. Okay? Now the only other thing that you're going to have to do is to graph ordered pair solutions. Now we just found an ordered pair solution up here. Okay? The only thing else that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to graph them. So what we're going to have to do is graph these ordered pair solutions. So now we have these values that we're going to have to check. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And we have our way of finding how to do it right there. So here's how we do it. So we have to plug them in. So y is equal to -2 times another -2 plus 1. That's going to be a positive 4 plus 1, which is equal to a positive 5. So my first ordered pair is -2, comma 5. So I'm going to go to a -2 and then go up 5 and put a dot there. And there's my first ordered pair solution. So I'm going to do the exact same thing with all of these. With -1, with 0, with 1, and with 2. With -1, I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I get -2 times -1 plus 1. So I get a positive 2 plus 1. That's going to be equal to 3. So my second ordered pair is -1, comma 3. So I'm going to go to -1 here and go up 3. And I'm going to do the exact same thing for all of these. If you plug 0 into this equation, you're going to get y equals -2 times 0 plus 1. That's going to be 0 plus 1, which is 1. So my ordered pair solution is 0, 1, and the pattern is going to keep continuing. If I plug in 1, if I do the exact same thing, I'm going to get -1. And if I plug in 2, I'm going to get -3. Doing the same things that I did before. So this right here is my graph of my ordered pair solutions for this problem. Okay? So here's the graph of the ordered pair solutions. The last thing I need to talk about is how you make a scatter diagram, or something that you would call a scatter plot. Okay? So it's called a scatter plot. And you see here we have this table. It shows the ages of people. So this row here is the ages of people that ran the Boston Marathon. It says to construct a scatter diagram of the data. So here's their time. And their time is in minutes. So the way that we're going to do this is I'm going to make what's called a break in the graph for both the x and the y. So this is called a break. That just means that I'm not going to start at the origin. So I'm going to start here at 40, and then I'm going to go to 50 right here, and then I'm going to go to 60, and then I'm going to stop there. And then I'm going to look for the smallest value, which appears to be this one right here, 194. And I'm going to start at 190, and then I'm going to put 200 here. And then I'm going to put 250. It really doesn't matter what you put, as long as you're consistent. And I'm going to put 300 here. And now I'm just going to graph all these points. So 55, that's right there. 254, that's about right there. So I'm going to put that dot there. 46, that's about right here, this age. 204 is about right here. 53, it's right about here. 243. 40 and 194, that's about right here. 40 and 281, that goes up about here. 44 and 197 is about right here. And it's not going to be perfect, but it's close. 54 and 238 is going to be right about here. 44 and 300 is right here. 41 and 232 will be right about here. 50 and 216 will be right about here. So this is my scatter plot, or my scatter diagram. The only thing else that I have to do is just label these. So this is my age, and this is my time. And there is your scatter diagram. And this is the summary of Chapter 4, Section 1, talking about how to graph ordered pairs, how to graph solutions, how to check things that are solutions, and how to graph scatter diagrams.